Hey guys, I've got another tutorial here. This one today is UV editing. There's not a lot to it. It's relatively straightforward. It all depends on how much time you put in, how accurately you are, and how careful you are with the UV editing. Other than that, there's not many techniques. It's just learning about how careful you need to be and how it looks on the UV editing kind of graph thing versus the actual model. So to start with, you can see we've got the textures lined up over the top of this. To do this, you just need to go down here, select material mode, and then go on to materials, select the material you're loading the texture onto, go into the texture tab, go down here and load in your texture. You do that for all of the materials that you need textures on that you want to edit. And other than that, you can do it just to make it look good, but there's not much reason, it's not a necessity if you don't need to edit the UV on another part. So once you've got all that ready, you go up here, go down to the UV editing tab, and when you're in here you can see that I've also got the things loaded up in here. It won't be like that when you first open this tab. You'll be in edit mode and it'll be on solid. So what you want to do is go down here, go on material, and then obviously I'll just go on object mode just so I can see it clearly, but you don't need to. So today I'm just doing a simple fix. This is not aligned here on the chest, and I'm just going to show you how to fix something like that by UV editing, because obviously flipping the UV is not going to fix this issue at all, so I need to actually physically edit. Most of the time you want to avoid editing the UV if you can. It's not necessarily needed unless you're doing stuff like this. So what you want to do next is go on edit mode. In edit mode you'll see all your faces and all that, and then you'll just need to, you can either select a face at a time and do it, or you can select multiple faces and then edit them from there. It doesn't really matter, it just depends on how fine your details are and how accurately you need them, but you'll get used to it. So for now I'll just load in all the faces together like this. I'll just press C so I get the circle select, and then I'll just select all the faces in the actual area that I need, and then I'll come over to this graph. While here you'll see it's just blank and it's kind of hard to tell what I'll be editing. So what you'll need to do is go down here, click open, find your file and select it. Open up the DDS you're using and it will load in like this. So here is the faces and vertices, and you'll see the lines underneath them. Now you can see the issue here, they're not aligned up. So to edit stuff like this, you can either select and right click to drag, or you can right click, press G, and it will allow you to just move it. It stops you accidentally clicking the wrong vertex. But if you need to select multiple, you hold down Control, left click with your mouse and drag, and it lets you do this. So all you need to do to edit this issue really is just line up these and center them a bit better, because that's the issue here, they're not centered. As you can see, they're like off to one side. So I'll just do that. So if I was to drag a vertex too far and I needed to cancel it, I'll just right click and it'll take it right back to where it was. There are lots of different shortcuts. The main shortcuts are G, S, Y and X. However, Y and X are not needed until you press S. What Y and X do are they select the dimension that you're scaling the object in. So when you press S, if you want to scale it in the Y dimension, you press Y, and if you want to scale it in the X dimension, you press X. Obviously you can't use the Z dimension because it's not three-dimensional. But once you've lined them up and moved everything around, you can live check by going onto here, pressing A, As you can see, it's a lot better centered. If we go on object mode, you can see it. It's a lot better centered. It's less pulled off to one side. And that's really all there is to it. It's just a matter of how much time you have to do it and how willing you are to just spend a lot of time doing a lot of fine details and just moving them around. Other than that, there's not a lot else to do. You can go over them repeatedly. Obviously, there's no limit to how many times you can move them. And other than that, you just need to be careful, really, to not mess up. But that's how you edit a UV. Thank you for watching. That's all for today.